What's going on, everybody? Thankfully, this time I have my microphone on, so we are recording. There's a couple things that I want to get into before we start today's topic and video. We hit 20 subs, ladies and gentlemen. That's amazing. I've only been at it for maybe 4 or 5 days, probably a week, and we're already at 20 subscribers. A lot are close friends and family, but either way, there's still a couple people in there that I don't know, and either way, friends and family, randoms, I don't give a shit who you are. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, I don't give a fuck. Political party, whatever your opinions are, I don't care. You're here, and I'm glad. We're going to be coming in with a good story today. It is about running from the police. And long story short, I didn't get away. Don't run from the cops. Don't do the things that I do. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, as I put in my description. But I'm sure this is one thing that a lot of people want to knock off their bucket list. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the story. The story takes place in 8th grade, a little bit before coronavirus hit. And I do remember that because I moved from a different school in 8th grade, a whole different area of the state, back down to my original area. And I came to this school, attended for a couple months before they put it online for coronavirus. So this was shortly before coronavirus. I was in 8th grade, probably 15, 16-ish. I only knew a handful of people at this school. I do remember my first day attending this school. The kids in the gym were passing my phone around, adding me on Instagram. They're like, damn, you're pretty cool. Like, most people won't talk around this school, but you'll talk. That's pretty chill. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I just want to make some friends. So we're going to call this guy in the story Ed. I met Ed probably on my first or second day of school. He was pretty cool with everybody, always wore his fucking collar, flared up, like not cool, but dingy is what I'm saying. Kid was pretty dingy clothes, untied shoelaces, but he didn't give a fuck. He was cool with everybody. So I started talking to this guy. We were cool. Before the story I'm about to tell actually takes place, this is eventful information for this guy. I bought like a gram of weed off of him for like $7. He had it. Whatever a Tic Tac container full of weed is what I bought for $7. And at this school, we had see-through bags, so it's not like we could even bring it in. And if you come late to this school, you got to walk through a fucking metal detector. Like, this was a pretty bad school. Damn near an alternative school with the kids that were in it. It was alternative, just not alternative, but the kids that were there would be the ones in a fucking alternative class. So, I have previous history buying weed from this guy at least once. Like, wasn't nothing crazy, but I had some shit to smoke when I got home. A deal was a deal, and it was good. So I know Ed smokes. Ed knows that I smoke. I actually had him on social media, and this was after school one day. I went to my source at the time. Not going to reveal who that is or what they were to me. We'll reveal that later, but not even in this story later. So I have about 3 fucking blunts on me this day. 3 fucking swishers. I think it was like 2 blueberries and a grape. Either way, I had 3 fucking swishers, and I'm like, yo, I am socially drained, like, in a bad way, because I probably pronounced that the wrong way. I haven't hung out with anybody when this story taking place for a long time. I didn't have many people in the area, and I actually only knew a couple people in the school. And thankfully, the couple that I did know were local. This was the same school that I attended with the worst girl to smoke out. So these 2 characters were met in the same school. Either way, I hit Ed up, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm sitting on 3 blunts right now. Like, you want to smoke? And he's like, yo, fuck yeah, man. Like, here, let's meet up at this park over here. So I think I left a blunt at home, and that last blunt comes in clutch. So I take 2 blunts with me, right? I put them in the swisher pack, 2 rolled up blunts, and I go to meet with Ed. And Ed told me he was going to have, like, 2 of his little homies with him, and they were just 2 younger kids. Nothing I was worried about. Like, what could go wrong? Like, what are they going to rob me for my blunts? I'm already going to smoke them with them. I didn't have shit on me. There was nothing, I wasn't even, I wasn't plugging or anything like that. I was just smoking, so that was it. There was no risk on the table for me. None that I fucking knew of, right? We're about to get to that. So I meet with Ed at this park. He's got his 2 little homies with him, and I'm like, what's up, guys? I dab them up, meet them, meet these 2 guys' names. Don't even fucking remember their names. Doesn't matter. Main person is Ed. His 2 little homies and me. Meet up at this park. Everything's chill. We're like, all right, so, anybody got open crib? We're like, where are we going to smoke? Nobody had open crib. Nobody had, like, a good spot. But they said, we know of this abandoned shop right up here next to the bank. So I'm like, fuck it. It's abandoned. Nothing's there. He's like, yeah, bro, we're just going to smoke behind the building. It's chill. So we proceed to go up behind this building. And I did see, before we walked behind this building, there was, like, an old head selling his fucking watermelon in the parking lot, at a discount price or whatever, doing his little fruit stand. Didn't think anything of that motherfucker, and I know it was him. I know it was him. So we proceeded to go back behind this building. We spark up the first blunt. We're just talking, right? And I'm not going to go into too much detail in describing our positions that we were standing in, but I was on the edge of a wall, like a wall that you stand on recess when you're in trouble. If you're on the end of that brick wall before it turns like to the other direction, that's where I'm at on this wall. And to my left is where the wall breaks off and goes the other direction, and to my right are the gentlemen that I'm smoking this blunt with. We are, I'd say, there's only like 30% of this first blunt left, and we put it out. I'm like, you boys want to smoke? And I'm like, fuck yeah, if you're smoking, we're smoking. So I sparked this second blunt. I don't even know what we was talking about. I go spark the second blunt. I take my first puff, and to my left, like, all I see, what I locked eyes with was his gut hanging over the belt. His tactical belt. His gut was hanging over it. I look up, see a badge and a pistol. I turn to my right, like this blunt, like in slow motion. This all happened in slow mo for me. This blunt got suspended mid fucking air, dude. Like I tossed this hoe up. It could be on the ceiling of that business right now for all I fucking know. I have no clue where that blunt went. I don't know if they spun back for the blunt, but the blunt went flying. I turn to my right, blunt goes flying. I start running, and I remember this shit out of a fucking movie, like some Stand By Me shit when they tell them to run because the fucking train's coming. I push these kids next to me, right? Like Ed was right next to me and his two little homies. I turn to my right because right after I saw this cop, I'm like, fuck no, I'm not putting my hands up. I turn to my right, and I push Ed, man. I fucking push Ed. And I'm like, run, motherfucker, run. On some Forrest Gump shit. And they proceed to start running because I pushed them. I don't know what the fuck they were going to do, but I turn to my right, I push them, I start running. I make it back from the backside of this building into the front parking lot, and I'm running, fucking trying to pull these shitty ass blue jeans ripped to hell that I got off of Instagram. Sure, they were like $25, some crazy drip on Insta. It took a week to get there. And these bitches were my downfall. Do not shop clothes on Instagram. They're cursed. They will get you caught by the police, right? I turn while I'm running, and I see behind me the motherfucker at the fruit stand. And I'm just like, you bitch. You fucking bitch. So I'm running across this parking lot. I see fruit stand, man. I know what my downfall was. I look to my left, and the gentleman that I was smoking the blunt with, Ed and his two little homies, book it off to the left past the bank where we came in at. I look behind me. There's actually just one fat cop chasing me. Not fat, but fat. A little fat. And I'm trying to pull these fucking pants up. I got my JBL headphones around my neck, blasting some fucking rap. And I am coming up on a parking curb. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming up on this parking curb, and my pants are on some sag shit. Like, they are sagging like a motherfucker. Belt would have been my best friend, but the jeans were my downfall. I go to hop this parking curb, and before I know it, I'm just free falling. I'm free falling over this fucking curb, and I land straight on my wrist. And of course I'm going to try to get back up. I turn around before I even get my wrist and my palm flat on the asphalt, and this motherfucker's like not even 5-10 feet away from me. So I just laid there. I said, what's the point of getting up to just get tackled? I'm not eating shit again. I ate shit. This is it. I lost. End of story right there. Motherfucker pushes up on me, puts my hands behind my back, arrests me. He takes my headphones actually fell off when I tripped over the curb. I didn't trip over the curb. I tripped on my jeans. I scaled the curb, but when I was trying to get my leg back in front, you know, my pants were so low I couldn't do it and lost my footing, fell. JBL headphones slid off. They're over there playing some fucking Lil TJ. So, like, fucking just hear it booming in the back. He cuts them down. He's like, you know, what are you running from? What are you guys doing back there? And they kind of figured out we were smoking some weed. He's like, you know, the cop asked me where I live. I said, man, I live right around the corner, man. Like, you know, what's the dealio? He calls up my dad. He's like, what's your dad's number? Give him my dad's number. He talks to my dad for a couple seconds. I don't hear much over the phone. And he said, your dad will be here to get you shortly. Do you need to be checked out by EMS? And I'm like, no, I don't think I need to be checked out by EMS. I just fell. You know, you didn't even tackle me, big dog. I think I'm chill. He's like, all right, your dad's about 5 minutes around the corner. He said he's walking over here. I'm going to go ahead and take these cuffs off you, but you're still detained. I'm like, all right, that's cool. He takes the cuffs off, and my right wrist is fucking killing me. He takes the cuffs off, and I'm like, hey, boss, do you think you can actually get EMS to check me out? Because I thought it was the cuffs being on too tight, but my right wrist is fucking killing me right now, man. Please get the EMS to check me out. And I look down at my right wrist, and I've got just this fucking egg lump hanging out my wrist. It hurts. This EMS with this cool ass like video game sleeve on his right arm checks me out. He says you're probably just spraying it, whatever. Put a fucking little brace on it. You'll be chill. 2 minutes later, my dad comes walking around the corner. He talks with the cops, tells them that I've never done anything like this. This is the second time he actually had to rescue me. The area that I moved from before this, I got caught by the police, and I actually just reminded myself from this story. Probably the next story you guys are going to hear is me being part of a sting operation, buying weed, without knowing it. I was part of a sting, and I didn't know it until after the fact. That's a really good, juicy story, and it happened in a really juicy location. So we'll probably get into that one next story for you guys. But my father proceeds to show up, talks with the cops, lies to their face, tells them this is the first time I've been in trouble with anything like this, and it was the second time. So thank God for my dad. He rescued me for the second time in a row, and we proceeded to walk home. Some of you might ask why my father didn't pick me up. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My father was under the influence himself, so he could not drive over there. He walked over there, yapped at the cops, told them, I'm a good boy. I don't do stuff like this. I'm going to go home, and this will never happen again, officer. And it didn't happen again in that area, so that officer was not lied to. I got home. My dad was not as pissed as I thought. He's just like, why the fuck were you not doing it in the house? You got a whole backyard. You got a fucking smoke shed back there. You got plenty of places to do this. You don't have to do this out in public. And I just told him I was trying to smoke with some friends, but it went south. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you shouldn't run from the police. And this is something I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, ladies and gentlemen. This is something you don't want to happen, right? There's a lot of people who watch my channel who's actually not subscribed according to the analytics. So I'm sorry to curse you with this, but within 7 days, right, if you don't subscribe and you watch this channel, it's going to be bad, right? The plug's going to short you. The plug's going to run off. And not only that, the plug's going to be an undercover who's been like labeling his buys and sells to you for the last 10 months, and you're going to be popped, right? So we can all avoid these negative things happening if we just hit that subscribe button. But either way, I really do appreciate you guys coming back in, and I've got another banger story for you guys tomorrow. So stay tuned. Keep checking in. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Peace.